A few years back, we had a late invitation to supply gifts to the children of the F.U.E.L program. These were children who the teachers were just sure were not going to have Christmas at all. The angels had already come off the tree from the Salvation Army, but we filled it again with angels from the F.U.E.L program. And as per our standard at Hilldale United Methodist Church, everyone responded very quickly to take the angels from the trees, even though there was just a short amount of time to supply the gifts. There was one angel left on the tree, a 14-year-old boy. I had a 14-year-old boy at home. His name is Tim. Tim and I took this angel from the tree and went out shopping for him. Now, it's somewhat difficult to shop for a 14-year-old child when you're really not sure what he has at home or what he might be interested in. But we went out and bought one large gift and a couple of small gifts. Later in that week, in fact, the day that we were getting ready to deliver the gifts, I received a call from a community action organization here in Clarksville that had several gifts that they wanted to give to the F.U.E.L children. Now, keeping in mind that my 14-year-old son was a part of this activity, I had invited him that evening to go with us to deliver the gifts. The gifts were already wrapped and ready to go. However, this change in plans, we suddenly had over 200 gifts that had to be wrapped and distributed along with the other gifts. Tim waited patiently as we hadn't eaten supper, and as the hours whiled away and it was almost 8 o'clock at night, he was quite angry and irritated that we were taking our time to feed these or to take care of these children when his needs had not been met yet. Our first house that we went to, just by chance, happened to be the house of the 14-year-old boy we had picked off the tree. We walked into the house, and I always wear an elf suit just to keep in the spirit of times. There was a young boy, the age of 3, that waited for me at the door and was so excited to see Santa's elf delivering Christmas gifts. Behind me came my husband Jay and my son Tim. Jay had on a Christmas hat and Tim refused to wear one. He wasn't happy at all to be there. The young man, the 3-year-old, started asking me immediately, "Are all of these gifts mine?" I said, "No, sir. They're going to be shared amongst your family, but we can pick through them and show you which ones are yours." So we began separating the gifts when a commotion started behind me. I looked behind me, and here was this 14-year-old boy with his arms tight around my son's neck, saying, "Tim, man, I can't believe it's you. Every time I see you, you're doing something nice for someone." Little had we known that this 14-year-old boy we had pulled from an angel tree was actually a child my son had attended school with just a few years before that. It was unbelievable almost that we knew a family like that. We had no idea that's their lifestyle or how difficult their times were. When we left the house of this 14-year-old boy, we got into the car and everyone sat quietly. Tim slipped on his Santa hat in the back seat, and his life changed forever, knowing that it truly is better to give than it is to receive.